SWBC.com.
We've got a party going on in here. Chris Arnold, 105.3 The Fan, along with the three-time Super Bowl champion, the Cowboy legend, Nate Newton, and we got a couple of special guests all the way from DallasCowboys.com, Nicole Hutchison.
Yes, sir.
And
Nicole, she new to the show, baby.
Yeah, welcome to the show. Welcome to Cowboys Club.
Yeah.
And, of course, Alec Medford from 105.3 The Fan.
Alex, it took Alex, 8 years to get up in that seat. Glad to have you, Alex. 8 years.
It's been a while, but I'm glad to be here.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, Alex has always been in the studio
Yes.
at 105.3 The Fan on that side of it. So he's talked down on the microphone with you from
Yeah.
Nate, and now you finally meet.
Yeah.
Cool.
But let me tell you something. Everybody's festive in here. You think it's the holidays. You think maybe the Cowboys are 8-3 and have a 13-game home field.
Yeah.
I mean, 13 games in a row, winning streak. Everybody's in a great mood. Have you noticed that everybody's in a good mood around town, Nate?
Yeah. You know, I'm glad I don't drink anymore because they're as festive as they is. I probably would be tipping a few. Hello, baby. Yes.
Yeah, and they seem to be all festive down in the locker room. Nicole, you've been talking to the guys and getting the interviews done. Talk about the mood after winning 13 straight games and being 8-3 right now.
The thing about it is it's easy to get overly confident in moments like these, but they're just so humble and they're just ready to keep winning, going game by game. So I love the aura in the locker room. They're pretty, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Really humble, and I just love the mood.
Oh,
Love
yeah,
the
most
mood.
definitely. Alec, have you noticed because the Dallas Cowboys are winning, people seem to be in a really good mood, and I think they kind of believe in this team a little bit. They want to see what happens in the playoffs, but they're believing a little bit.
Yeah, I think when you start stacking up these sizable wins, it's kind of hard to ignore at some point, and that aura is starting to kind of radiate from the players, from the coaching staff, into the fan base, into all of the media even. It just seems like there's something special going on that we didn't quite have before the bye week, so it's a great time to be locked in.
There's a game tomorrow night at AT&T Stadium. The Seattle Seahawks come to town looking to be the 14th victim in a row. By the way, this winning streak at home is the longest since 1979 through 1981 when Coach Landry led the team and Danny White and Roger Staubach combined for 18 straight home wins in a row. It's the longest home winning streak in the NFL right now today. And Nate, in that last game on Thanksgiving, it seemed like that was a long time ago, but it was just last week. In that last game, it was basically a party at the end. People were jumping into the kettles. They were throwing guys into the Salvation Army kettles. They were pulling out turkey legs like John Madden back in the day with the turducken. But there were some guys who had some special games. I'm talking about, I want y'all to think for a second. Who impressed you more? And Nate, you tell me who you think. Maybe I'll throw out a name for you. DaRon Bland making some NFL history?
Yeah, the thing about all of this right here is that comes with winning. You know, records are being broken. Things have been set like the home game winning streak. When you're winning, it's easy to for great things to happen. You know, DaRon wasn't. You know, he was getting some catches on him, but DaRon kept.
Like they were targeting him or something.
Yeah, but he kept saying, sooner or later, you're gonna make that mistake. And then in the fourth quarter, I think where the Washington team went wrong at is they never implemented enough of the run game. Yeah. So the cornerbacks can start setting on certain routes.
Yeah.
And this kid sat on the right route that was for him. And what was amazed about him, this is probably one of his best runs for a touchdown.
61 yards.
I posed the question to the guys that I've been around, who would you rather be? The quarterback that he faked out or the two wide receivers that hit? Because it's going in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be on the camera.
Oh, yeah.
For that, yeah. So who would you rather be? That quarterback who got faked out or the two wide receivers?
Yeah, you in the highlight film for your rest of your lives.
Yeah.
That's 5 pick six in one season.
Yes.
Nobody's ever done that.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Hall of Fame. They took away his gloves and his cleats to take him down to Canton. And by the way, Nicole, when you saw that happen, and you know you've talked to DaRon, he is the quietest guy.
Yeah.
He's all about business and, 5th-round pick.
Yeah. I mean, I talked to him post-game, and he had hardly any words to say, and that's just him. He's so humble. He's so quiet, but when he gets on the field, he's like a whole different demeanor. And he even said that, I don't know what it is. I'm just naturally quiet. And Al Harris loves it. You know, he loves guys that can make a break on the ball. That's what he's, you know, of course, looks for in a guy like that. So, I mean, I don't know. DaRon's special, and I think he's on track for a Hall of Fame career.
Well, my thing is this right here. I will not deny that.
Yeah.
As long as we allow him, the media,
I like that.
allow him to stay that way.
Right.
Yeah.
I've seen so many players start out young in their careers, having all this success. All of a sudden, you know, you get enough people telling you, you don't study as hard. You don't work as hard. This kid here should have been starting his rookie year at slot corner. I was in training camp saying, God, this dude, I don't know who he is, but this guy making all the plays at
Fresno
slot corner.
State.
And they everybody looking at me because, you know, I'm big, happy-go-lucky. Then he finally got a chance to start in the slot, led the team in interceptions.
Last year.
And so even this year here, you know, they kind of, before my man went down, they kind of like trying to get loose and run. Now he's undeniable.
Yeah.
So if I ever go past him, I'm just going to grab his hand, man. Stay you.
Yeah, stay you.
Do not because one thing I understand, if you are as dominant as he's going to be, the money coming.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't have to do nothing extra. The commercial's coming. You don't have to do nothing. Just stay you. Let people play on that humbleness.
Right.
That even killedness. Let them play on. I mean, now everybody can't be Big Noon that is going to talk forever.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's quiet. You got a more vibrant personality, so it's natural for you.
I'm the man that told y'all about the real what. Never mind.
As happy as I was for him, another guy I was happy for was one of his mentors, and that would be, believe it or not, Trayvon Diggs. Stephon Gilmore and Trayvon Diggs are his big brothers.
Yeah.
And Trayvon got paid, so I'm so happy he ain't got to worry about his money. He got paid before he got hurt.
Right.
But what you talking about, you hope they can keep him humble and keep him the way he is. Alec, I got a question for you because the media likes to do this. He's made history, NFL history. Nobody in history has ever had 5 pick six in one season. Deion Sanders, as great as he is, the greatest shutdown corner of all time, only had 9 his entire career. This guy's had 5 in one season. They say, does his name belong in the defensive MVP of the year category?
It's kind of hard to avoid that argument now, isn't it? Like, after you see NFL history made, and now he's chasing the most defensive touchdowns in NFL history at 6. Like, he is close to doing something special yet again. If he can do that, and if he just stays as consistent as he's been, it's getting really, really hard to deny that conversation. I think you got to put his name up there, especially when you consider he was essentially cornerback number 3 going into the season. Now he's cornerback number 1. He is that defense's guy.
He's that guy.
So much has changed in the course of just a few months. So I think if you kind of categorize that in the unexpected story, you know, some of that has to play into, because Micah Parsons, Myles Garrett on the defensive side of the ball, you expect that. The quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott stepping up, you expect those things. Nobody expected DaRon Bland to have to play cornerback 1 and play so well.
You know what's so wild about this? When they say, okay, who's going to be the guy or whatever, the defensive MVP, I always look at it like last year, a year ago, not this past season, but a year ago in baseball, Aaron Judge broke the home run record, right? And so they made him the MVP. That year, I was like, this is Ohtani. Ohtani is, because Ohtani's more talented, but history was made with Judge, thus he got it. So I'm thinking DaRon Bland has a chance. Also on Thursday, this past Thursday night, somebody else started showing up and showing out. How about Kavontae Turpin? Kavontae Turpin is no longer a decoy on offense. He's more than just a punt returner and a kickoff returner. This man has become a weapon as a wide receiver. How'd you like the way he played and how they're using him this year?
You know, I feel like I'm Jesse Holly, my boy, who loves to pat himself on the back.
You saw this coming, didn't you?
And one thing about it, I've been taught, don't knock a man, you know. But I would literally just scream and shout every week on them podcasts that we do, why they can't get the ball to Turpin.
Yeah.
Why not?
Kellen Moore.
And I'm not going to call that gentleman's name, I mean, because I wish great things for him.
I do too. He's very talented.
For Coach to McCarthy to find that niche for this kid, to give Dak another weapon, man. It just makes me laugh that when you have talent right there and don't use it, I'm going to tell you who's crying and hurting right now. Wherever Bland came from, the coach like, I had this type of talent. I could have won 2 more games if I had just –
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
When you see what you let loose. But anyway.
So Kavontae Turpin, who, by the way, went to TCU,
Yep.
USFL, MVP, and went to the Pro Bowl last year. Nicole, can you talk about how his season is going, because he's got 4 touchdown catches now?
Yeah, it kind of goes back to what Nate was saying and how McCarthy's knowing what his player personnel can do, and that was what made him so great at Green Bay. And so I love the fact that he's utilizing Kavontae, and Kavontae was like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. If it's on special teams and this offense, do whatever it takes and make an impact. And you can even line him up coming out of the backfield as well, and he can be very productive. So I love the way his season's going. I need more of Kavontae Turpin, though, over these next couple of weeks.
Alec, is this Mike McCarthy's doing? I mean, why is he suddenly now a target? And look at the speed. You got him and Brandon Cooks together.
I think you do have to give a lot of the credit to Mike McCarthy, because I don't know what changed here, in the offseason, but something, I don't know, maybe it was the addition of Brandon Cooks, and maybe in training camp they get a hard look at what straight line speed can do for you. They see the punt returns, they see the kick returns, and they're like, man, we could really use that on offense, because they tried to do that slower paced, dink and dunk offense at the beginning of the season, and it's like, hey, we've got some really fast guys and some great athletes on this team, and that track speed is real. Trust me, that track speed is real with Kavontae Turpin. I've ran against him before, not fun. He is.
Look out, you ran against him in track. Okay.
Yeah, in high school, I practiced with him a couple of times, and did not go well for me.
Y'all the same size, by the way.
Yeah, so, it was not an even matchup, even though we were built the same. Trust me.
All right, coming up next, Dak Prescott. He's been on fire. We haven't mentioned him yet, but guess what? He's going to be a girl dad, too. That's next on Cowboys Crosstalk.
Back to Dallas Cowboys Crosstalk.
Yeah, check this out.
Live from the Cowboys Club at the Star in Frisco.
At SWBC, customized solutions for individuals and businesses are just a click away. Visit SWBC.com to learn more and start your next adventure. I'm Chris Arnold, along with the three-time Super Bowl champion and legend with the Dallas Cowboys, Nate Newton, Nicole Hutchinson of DallasCowboys.com, and Alec Medford from 105.3 The Fan. We're here now, and we're discussing the Cowboys off the air before we went on the air. Nicole, I don't know if y'all want to share this or not, because we get ready to talk about Dak, and he's now going to be a girl dad. You were telling Nate that your daddy used to play in the NFL, and Nate said, wait a minute. Do I know this man? And then tell what went down, because I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, he made me call him.
What's your dad's name?
Anthony Hutchinson.
And who did he play for?
The Chicago Bears from 82 to 85, I believe.
So, Nate, did you get a chance to talk to our dad?
Yeah, I rap with a pop. He sounds exciting.
Yeah. What position did your dad play?
Running back.
Okay.
Yeah, he played behind Walter Payton.
Okay, so he played right behind. Okay, so he's right behind Sweetness.
Yep.
Getting it done.
Yeah.
Well, I like that story because, like I said, your father was a girl dad, or is a girl dad.
Yep.
And Dak is now in those shoes. It came out over the weekend that Dak announced that he and his girlfriend are about to have a little baby girl. He says he's known about this for weeks. Ironically, he's been playing the best football of his life over the last few weeks. Nate, coincidence or not?
I'm kind of old school, so all I look at him as a dad.
Yep.
And whatever makes you tick, man, whatever makes you do what you need to do, whatever makes you focus, if that's what made him focus, go, once you have this, go to work, get a nutting, so you can stay on this high because he's playing real well right now, and I'm happy for him and the young lady that, they're having this baby girl.
Alec, right now he's been so on point, and you've seen the numbers. See, Alec loves to crunch numbers. He's one of these guys that loves the analytics of it all.
Right.
Talk about how well he's playing for those who don't know, and they're just saying, well, they haven't played nobody yet.
Yeah, since the bye week, it's kind of been a tale of two halves, if you will, for Dak Prescott. I mean, you're starting to see the vertical attack, which give credit to Mike McCarthy and Brian Schottenheimer for that as well. But you're starting to see a little bit of a confidence. You're starting to see it in the EPA per play, which is one of the more advanced stats that I think is probably the best indicator of how, each drop back is starting to get more and more successful. He's doubling up some of the guys like Brock Purdy who have led the league in some of these advanced metrics. And the quarterback rating has been like 20 points higher than any other quarterback in the NFL since the bye week. So he has just been on a different level. It might be the girl dad thing. I don't know. We've seen it across sports. We've seen Mike Trout and his wife welcome a child, and he comes and crushes 3 homers against the Texas Rangers. So I don't know what it is, but, there's a combination of something going there that Dak Prescott's starting to look a lot more confident in this offense.
You know what's wild? He got some advice from Micah Parsons about what to expect when you have another baby. Because I think right after the playoff game, I think Micah and his girl had a baby just last year, Nicole. And he was telling Dak, you better get that guest bedroom ready, because when the baby keep you awake, you still got a job to do.
Yeah, I guess. Like I said, I'm old school. I didn't have a job. So.
But Nicole, talk about how Dak seems to be handling all of this right now, including, it's different being a Cowboys quarterback because all attention is on you. And he handles the social media as well because he kind of stays away from it, but he's aware of what's going on.
Yeah, I commend him. I mean, but that's also what comes with being a Dallas Cowboys quarterback. You have to be able to handle the pressure, a quarterback in general, and that's something that Jerry Jones has even said, like, he's handled the criticism so well, and even at this point of his career, for him to evolve, so well, I think he's playing with a lot of confidence, but it's that offensive line, though, that's been allowing him to do what he does best.
And that's why I was good.
Sorry,
Perfect setup, because they got a new offensive line coaching staff, right, and coordinator. And they've been getting better and better. And now you got Tyron, who's healthy, and they're not having him practice so he can stay healthy during the week. And then Tyler Smith, that whole left side, and that was your side of the ball,
yes.
Nate. They are showing up. Give us a critique, because you know that side. First of all, you know all the offensive line, importantly. But you know what those two guys on that left side are doing so well.
They're playing well together. They've had opportunity to go against lesser opponents, not in every game because each team has its own bulldog, you know, at positions. But they've had a chance to just play together.
Right.
And what has transpired is, I tell people, great offensive line play is three things. Offensive line doing their job, quarterback helping them out, and the running backs. Running backs are not running past guys that's running free now. They're helping.
Pass protecting.
Yeah. Tony Pollard is picking up blitzes.
Yeah,
you would have never saw in 2 years.
Not last year. No.
Yeah, you wouldn't have saw it 2 years ago. Dak is finally back moving around. And he, you know, there's 5 yards this way or 5 yards this way. Number one, to avoid the sack. Number two, to give his secondary receiver a chance to get open. Yep. So this thing has been a great team thing. It's not just been the offensive line. Yes, Steele has played better. He's not going out attacking on the pass block. He's sitting back, you know, lining himself up, and, you know, so he can give himself meet this guy to apex. He's doing a better job of that. We already know the left tackle is who he is as long as he's healthy. The left guard is mature. You know, we thought, you know, we would just see penalty after penalty. No. I think Zach is even picking his game back up to another level. The center is playing okay. So you're saying everybody hit on all cylinders. And now this week right here going into the Seahawks, it should be just a great battle.
It sure should because Seattle's a very physical defense. But back to Dak Prescott because people are saying, oh, he's playing so well right now. And they kind of forget, and I want you to compare this, Nate. They forget his rookie year when he stepped in for Tony Romo and the team was playing so well, Tony couldn't get his job back. They won 11 games in a row. That's how well they were playing. Can you talk about what Dak is doing now compared to his rookie year? Because I think when his rookie year, it was a lot of him and Zeke, because Zeke also led the league in rushing that year.
The thing that I've been saying for the last 3 years, and I've always tried to preach this, is you don't never get away from what makes you. And like I said, I don't really care how folks take it because when I know I'm right, is Dak is a football player that can throw the ball real well. And whenever he's been a football player, he is hard to beat. And people got it confused. Well, you want to run the ball? No, sir. Like I said earlier, run 5 yards out this way. Does two things: avoid a sack, give himself a second chance at a receiver. Go back. The bootleg used to be our thing. We used to open up with bootlegs.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff like that and move him around. In today's NFL, if a quarterback drops back without a supreme offensive line and you don't move your quarterback around, even the worst of pass rushers can get to you. Dak understands that. We got multiple weapons. We can get the ball out fast. We can also get the ball at the mid-range, and we can take it deep. When you're doing it like that, now all we have to do now is get the run game a little bit more definite. And what I mean by that is run when they know you're gonna run and you still running.
And you can't stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
But Dak is doing what he needs to do.
You mentioned the chunk plays. Go ahead.
And when you hear Aaron Rodgers say, I like what this kid is doing in Dallas, oh, my God, Aaron Rodgers is my man. Aaron Rodgers is my guy.
Yeah, Nicole, go ahead and elaborate what Aaron Rodgers was saying.
Yeah, so he basically said that he loves the way that he's using his cadences beautifully. He's just playing with more like instincts. He's playing smart and free. And you love to see Dak playing like that because when he's playing like that, like Nate said, he's unstoppable. I love the way he's playing right now.
Update on Aaron Rodgers. The Jets say he's been cleared to practice. We're going to see what comes.
Yeah.
This is an amazing thing coming off of Achilles. We see how fast he does come back. But back to Dak Prescott, and Nate was talking about let Dak throw the ball and be a football player. The chunk plays the last couple of games. Can you talk about this? Because Dak hadn't been sacked in the last couple of games, and that one pick 2 games ago, that was like where that came out of nowhere. Because on the whole, you ain't worrying about no picks, and he's getting the chunk plays.
I think it starts with what you mentioned about him not getting sacked in a really long time is whenever you start to build that trust, and Nate was talking about having, continuity across the offensive line for the first time in forever, you're starting to see a Dak Prescott that feels more in control of the offense to the point where he can call his own shots. He knows he can plant that back foot, set his feet, and actually throw downfield without any kind of harm coming his way. It just feels like a more comfortable Dak to me because of the offensive line. It all starts up front, and now that you're starting to see like a healthy offensive line just finding some rhythm, you're starting to see some really good games from Terrence Steele now after he got eviscerated after a couple of bad games in the run department. The pass blocking might not have been as good because you had some guys rotating in and out, some undrafted free agents having to step in. It was rough at the beginning of the year. You haven't had those issues anymore, so you're starting to see really a confidence that you didn't see out of 4 before.
Also, like you said, you got continuity of the offensive line. You got the running game showing up, and again, can they show up when they know you got to get that first round? In other words, those dirty yards that Zeke used to get. Dak Prescott getting those chunk plays. We haven't really talked about the wide receivers other than Kavontae Turpin. It seems like all cylinders offensively are working right now.
When I looked at this thing when Coach McCarthy first came in, and I know Coach McCarthy don't care about no Nate Newton, and I understand that this man got a team to run.
Yeah.
But I think I spoke to him and shook his hand the first day of training camp. I ain't have nothing to say to him since he had, hey, I'm going to let Kellen Moore call the plays. I was out. I was like, no, sir, we did not bring you here.
Right. Because he called the plays at Green Bay.
As much talent as we had on this team when Kellen was here, we wasted 2 years. And I'm not saying we going to no Super Bowl. I don't ride like that. But I am saying this team, since he has taken over, even as the head coach, how they are consistently winning. Yeah. Now, yes, they got to beat the teams with the better 500 records. Yeah, we understand that. But now I can see it growing.
You see an opportunity.
Yeah, I see opportunity.
I see the opportunity as well. And, again, nothing against Kellen. I always say on the air, Kellen just wasn't seasoned enough. He's a very brilliant guy, but he doesn't know situational. Does the defense need some rest? Should we run the ball a little bit more? I think that's what got him when it came to the playoffs.
Yes.
When we come back, you talking about the opportunity. There's a guy named Shaq looking for a job. Maybe it's going to be Philadelphia. Maybe it's going to be the Cowboys. And where do the Cowboys fit in the hierarchy of the NFC? That's next on Cowboys Crosstalk.
Go Cowboys! Back to Dallas Cowboys Crosstalk.
Yeah, check this out.
Live from the Cowboys Club at the Star in Frisco.
Jack Black. You want to use what the pros use? Jack Black is the official men's skincare brand of your Dallas Cowboys. Visit getjackblack.com today. Chris Arnold, Nate Newton, along with Nicole Hutchinson of DallasCowboys.com, Alec Medford from 105.3 The Fan. We are chopping it up because Cowboys got a big game tomorrow night against Seattle.
Let me say this here, man.
Yes, sir.
Yo, this homie here, Daddy played for the Chicago Bears, and homeboy here got his lights burnt up by Kavontae Turpin. What did you run against? What did you run?
Yeah, well, you ran in high school against Kavontae Turpin, Alec.
And what you ran, 100 meters, 200?
Yeah, I did all the sprints in high school.
Yeah.
And it was a very bad day. It was one workout with them, and I was like, hey, maybe I can hang. No, it was a very bad day for Alec Medford. That's what it was.
You so stupid.
No, I'm just saying. I'm like, we got 2 stars up here, mega stars. Yeah.
Well, we are glad to have him because it's fun to talk about the Dallas Cowboys with some people who know what they're talking about. And, Nate, I mentioned going into the break, Shaq Leonard got cut by the Colts. And the Cowboys have been talking. He was up here having lunch with Jerry yesterday. He went up to Philadelphia. He's got ties with Philadelphia. He got some ties here with the Cowboys. Couple of ties he's got here with the Cowboys. Not only did he play with Stephon Gilmore with the Colts, because they know each other very well, they both grew up in South Carolina. Who else grew up in South Carolina? Tank Lawrence. So there's a South Carolina kind of thing. But at the same time, if he were to get signed with the Cowboys and fit, because we do need a linebacker, Leighton Vander Esch is hurt. How would he fit in with the Dan Quinn, and do you think they should really go after him or be disappointed if he goes somewhere else?
And like we talked off air, this kid worried about 2 things.
Okay.
One, you're going to make the money right, because
right.
what he getting from the Colts, he already got.
$6 million.
Yeah, he getting his money. Is you going to make the money right, and is he going to play? He didn't leave the Colts because they wasn't paying him. He left the Colts because they wasn't playing him.
Ah, that's true.
So you can't sit up and say, well, we got you on first down, but after that, it's up in the air. No, this kid, like, he looks at himself as a 3-down linebacker. When they built the Colts defense around him 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. Now, Nicole says she has a little bit more to add to that. So I'm gonna see her. I'm gonna see what Ms. Hutchinson do.
He got a little foot situation,
I'm
right?
only saying, back injury. I know he had to deal with that. He had a concussion. He's dealt with a lot of injuries. But I think he passed the physical.
Physicals, yeah.
But I think it would be a good add just because you're adding another veteran guy, a true veteran guy. And he's a great run stopper. You can kind of bring him in, swap him out with Marquise Bell, who's better in pass coverage. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's been doing a solid job, but just adding that extra juice to that linebacker room, man, I think that would be a great pickup.
By the way, Marquise Bell has been showing out.
Amazing.
He's been looking really good. I was talking to Kavontae Turpin a couple of nights ago, speaking of Kavontae, a couple of days ago. He told me DaRon Bland and Marquise Bell are the 3 Musketeers. They are tight as thieves.
Yeah.
They came in together, and all of them having a great year this year. Alec, back to you on this Shaq situation. What are your thoughts on could he fit in and would they use him? And Nate staring you down.
I'm getting the most legendary stare down.
Give us the analytic stats on this.
This one, I'm going to take a more logical approach and just try to think from this from a roster building perspective. First things first, I almost had a heart attack when Marquise Bell went down in that Commanders game.
Oh, yeah, that's scary.
Absolutely almost had a heart attack. That was rough to see, and, that would have up the sense of urgency a little bit.
Right.
But like Nicole said, a couple of back injuries, some lingering injuries as well, have kind of slowed him down. He's not exactly the athlete that he used to be when he was playing at that Pro Bowl level. But you look at the depth in the linebacker room, you've got your core guys outside of that. You're asking Rashaan Evans to do a lot now, which he's been doing good in that role. It's just outside of that. I'm thinking long term. I'm thinking of like January. And I'd like to just have as many names in that room. And like Nate said, the money is covered. So, you don't have to worry about a scene being made. He's not going to command all the attention and all the finances. If he wants to play here, I think you should give him the shot.
Don't the Colts owe him like $28 million?
Yeah. They already got to pay him. So
right.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you have to worry about the Colts money. But like you said, he wants to make sure he gets paid properly.
Well, I'm going to tell y'all something, man. Let me tell y'all something. This guy left the Colts for one reason.
Not playing. He was not. And they were saying, he was a significant person a few years ago.
Yes.
And then we're trying to change it, and they don't want to disrespect him because he's a great guy in the community.
They
he was handing out
a
turkeys.
farewell party.
Yeah, turkeys.
They
giving out
loving
to
on him.
But we got to let you go. It's kind of like, it's like, okay, we got a new regime. We got new things going on. So he's out there. One of the reasons I want him here, and I wasn't thinking about this until they started saying, well, where would he go? All of a sudden, Philadelphia is a big player. And I'm like, okay, I'm having a flashback because Nate was here, and I was here for it too. Deion Sanders was going to leave, or he was a free agent, and he's going to pick a team. He through with the Falcons. He's going to go somewhere. He's playing baseball. And all of a sudden, it's like the 49ers wanted him, and the Cowboys like, oh, we're good, Jerry. Like, we're good. We got our defense is set. We don't really need Deion. Deion wound up helped block the Cowboys from 3 Super Bowls in a row. He was that significant. And I'm not saying Shaq is as good as Deion was back then. I'm just saying Philadelphia don't need no more help. I don't want him to help Philadelphia keep the Cowboys at bay because right now Philadelphia is 10-1, and they are leaders of the NFC. So in my mind, I want X to block the square. I want Jerry to say, come on down here, just so, and more importantly, you ain't playing in Philadelphia. That's just me.
I don't care. If you can't help me win, I don't need you. I don't care. The thing that I see right now, and I said this, I've been saying it every week, they don't won 3. I need for them to win 6 games in a row. And I said this, and people thought I was joking.
Buffalo, and Miami are next.
They thought I was joking. If you continue to win and you build that confidence, because I look back when we started our run back in the day, Chris.
Yep.
It ain't like we beat a whole bunch of great teams, but we beat so many teams.
Stacking them up.
Our confidence was so great. And so now when you step to the Seattle Seahawks and you physical and you win this game, now you go and you in Philadelphia come in, you win this game. Now you start to feel good. It don't matter. It don't matter now. I don't want our linebackers to get hurt. I'm with you on that.
Yeah. But let's look at this NFC. This is a perfect segue into looking at this NFC. I'm looking at Philadelphia win that damn game, and they did it just the way they always do. The other team against Buffalo. I'm like, Buffalo had this game, and then Philadelphia get the game. That's what happened against Kansas City. I've been talking to people who cover Philadelphia. Miami. Every team they play this year, somehow or another, the other team cough it up, and the Philadelphia Eagles take advantage of it.
You remember your boy from Miami, Tariq, had the touchdown?
Yeah, Tariq Hill.
And see, I'm being facetious, if that's right.
Yeah.
And you remember against Kansas City, they dropped the third down.
Yes.
Yeah, and then you remember this game here. They said they horse collar. See how excited you is about a team that's winning regardless of what goes down?
Right. And
now, at the end of the day, Chris, they're 10-1.
Yep.
Almost, and they 10-1. We almost, and we 8-3.
Right.
Which almost what you want.
Right. And here's the thing. For the Cowboy fans who say, okay, we got a shot knowing that they've won 7 of these 8 games by over 20 points, which is unheard of.
Right.
And then, but they've lost to San Francisco and Philadelphia, who are the quote-unquote premier teams of the NFC.
Right.
Are they close enough to catch them in the playoffs if we keep stacking them up, Nate?
No, they're going to beat them. They're going to beat them.
Okay.
They're going to beat them starting after they go through the Seahawks. Then they beat Philadelphia. The thing that you have to do is you have to start playing on a certain level. And I think for the last 3, New York Panthers, Washington Commanders, they played on a certain level. And even when it was 20 to 10, it was 17 to 9 or whatever against the other team. At no time this team or any of us said, man, they're going to lose this game.
Right.
And then the explosion happened in each time. Whether it was the third quarter, whether it was the fourth quarter.
Yep.
They play now at a level that's higher than the lesser teams. Before they used to play down or get inconsistent. All they got to do is clean up them illegal formations, clean up them 1 or 2 holding penalties.
Yeah, the little penalties.
Yeah, they're going to be all right. Just continue to play hard.
Right. And again, you got Philadelphia on the schedule a week from Sunday.
Yes.
Seattle tomorrow. We're going to talk about Seattle the next segment. But, Nicole, do you think they can keep stacking this up like this?
For sure. I mean, the way that they're playing at their best. They're playing at their best right now. I think they need to win Seattle first, and then we can worry about the Eagles. But I think they need to win these games. I mean, because you haven't beat any guys with a winning record, But I think they have the highest fifth-ranked highest strength of schedule over the next couple of games. So, I mean, it's not going to get any easier. They need to win these games.
And Philadelphia, they still got a gauntlet to run themselves, right, Alec?
Yeah.
They do. They've got a lot of tough matchups coming up, starting with the 49ers. But I know nobody wants to hear it, but the Philadelphia Eagles have the first playoff berth clinching scenario this weekend. They have to win, and if the Rams lose or tie, then Philadelphia's in. If that happens, then I'm not worried about Philadelphia anymore. I'm worried about stacking these wins. I'm fully focused on what's ahead for the Cowboys, and I think – to what Nicole and Nate are saying, when a team is motivated, when a team is this hot, especially when the offense is clicking, we kind of know what we have in the defense for the most part. We've seen some really consistent performances out of specific units on the defense. Now that we're seeing the offense kind of humming and Dak is able to get the ball to 5, 6, 7 different ball carriers in a game, that's when I'm starting to feel good about what lies ahead going into the playoffs.
What lies ahead is Seattle tomorrow night. We're going to talk about that game, how strong that defense may be. Does Dan Quinn know something about Pete Carroll that we don't know? That's coming up next on Cowboys Crosstalk.
Go Cowboys! Back to Dallas Cowboys Crosstalk.
Yeah, check this out.
Live from the Cowboys Club at the Star in Frisco.
At SWBC, customized solutions for individuals and businesses are just a click away. Visit SWBC.com to learn more and start your next adventure. Chris Arnold, along with 3-time Super Bowl champion and Cowboys legend Nate Newton. We got Nicole Hutchinson from DallasCowboys.com and Alec Medford, my guy, from 105.3 The Fan. Tomorrow night, 7:05 kickoff at AT&T Stadium where the Cowboys have won 13 consecutive home games. You got the Cowboys hosting the Seattle Seahawks, who for the last 2 years been surprising everybody because they traded away Russell Wilson, and then all they got is Geno. And next thing you know, they still keep winning. I need a scouting report. Who wants to go first with the scouting report? Shall we go with Alec? Nate, or you want to go with Nicole?
Let's go with the numbers, yeah. Let's go with the
all right,
numbers.
break it down for us, Alec.
So Seattle.
Nate's putting you on the spot.
Seattle's a very beat-up team. This is a
Yeah.
team that has lost a little bit of confidence because some of their key playmakers have not been around the team. The offensive line has been beaten and battered. They had to sign Jason Peters to the practice squad, elevate him. His first game up, he gets hurt. Kenneth Walker, he's a young budding star. He gets hurt. Might not play this week. We don't know yet. But one area that I look at the Seahawks, because offensively, I think they can hang with most teams in the NFC, if not all of them offensively. I look at their run defense. Their run defense has not been great, and they get this title of a really physical and gritty defense.
That's
which
their reputation.
They are. Under Pete Carroll, it's always been that way. It's always been the characterization. But this year, the run defense is just a little bit lacking, and this is a Cowboys offense that is starting to find their rhythm in the run game. Tony Pollard is starting to run into less loaded boxes, and he's putting up some really good numbers against those empty boxes. So I think that matchup is where you can beat them. Offensively, you just got to be on your P's and Q's, containing them offensively. The defense, I think they should hold their own. I mean, Seattle's numbers, they're nothing flashy, but Geno Smith is having almost as good of a year as he did last year. Not as many touchdowns, but other than that, he's still pretty consistent. You got to throw him off his game. If the pass rush can get home with 4, then that's when you got your best chance.
Nate, what concerns, or should we ask Nicole what she thinks about?
Yeah.
Give us a cheat code, Nicole.
Yeah, her daddy was a running back in the NFL.
He's there trying to be funny.
Yep.
One thing that I've noticed is that Geno Smith's not as mobile as he was last year.
Okay.
And I'm saying that because
The comeback player of the year last year, by
comeback
the
player
way.
of the year, leader in completions last year, is not as mobile. And I'm saying that only because that offensive line is is struggling. It's struggling.
Yeah, right.
I mean, he's been sacked 13 times in the last 4 games, and he just can't. He doesn't have enough time to really make decisions. I think he's taken 2.91 seconds to even get rid of the ball. So that's something that stands out to me. It gives a chance for maybe D-Law, Dorrance Armstrong to have a big day, Jonathan Hankins, Osa,
Right.
That interior defense to go up and pressure the quarterback. And then as far as their secondary, Devon Witherspoon is someone who actually catches my eye because he's like a DaRon Bland. He's good in pass coverage and can come up and make some stops on the run.
Right.
So that's the only thing that really catches my eye. But offensively, I don't think the Seahawks have anything that's, I guess, nerve-wracking. Kenneth Walker's questionable. So, yeah, I don't think this is a game that – it's going to be a battle, but it's not something that the Cowboys can handle.
Okay, Nate, what worries you, what concerns you about the matchups in this game? What the Cowboy fans and Cowboy players
a
look
lot
out
of people
for?
talking about the Njigba kid,
Smith, yeah.
And they talk. The only guy that worries me is that little dude they got running around at wide receiver.
Tyler Lockett?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's a little
Yeah.
older now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's still a big play monster.
Uh-huh.
And Metcalf gonna be Metcalf. Muscle him, try to fight with him.
Yeah.
I know more people like it. Boy, if I lose, he gone. He
Right.
can go deep real. I'll put hands on big fella. I would. I was. You know what I'm saying?
Right, something.
I would mix it in and out. Just to see what he working with.
Okay, Nate,
that dude run a 4.3 nothing.
Metcalf or Debo Samuel? Which one more dangerous?
Debo Samuels, because I think the coach know how to use him better than what their coach
Yeah,
does.
Shanahan. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I know what you said. It's the same element. It's the same
That
monster.
dude, yeah. But, man, I have never taken a picture of a pro player. I think last year or 2 years ago they was here for a preseason game, right?
Uh-huh.
And me and Chris Bean was walking out on the field.
For Cowboys.com.
Yeah, and
Cowboys
I said,
TV.
man, look at this. Boy, this dude is built to be a defensive end. I said, that's a hell of a look. This dude is built.
He looked like a statue.
Yeah, and he said, there ain't no defensive end, Nate. That's DK Metcalf. I got my camera and sent that thing around the world. X had me that day. It was back 12, still 12.
Yeah.
I
He looked like a Roman gladiator.
I'm like,
You look like a gladiator.
You know what, y'all? Let me tell y'all something. I'm glad he don't play for Kansas City.
Oh, because they'd be totally unstoppable.
Oh, my God. I'm glad he don't play for Kansas City, man.
Yeah, I hear you. I know exactly what you're saying.
Wow, man.
Well, he does play for the Seahawks, and that's who the Cowboys have.
I got to
tomorrow
lay
night.
hands on him, man. I call out a Baptist preacher and lay hands on him, baby. Yeah, man. The God knows what we got to do today.
Lord, what we got to do
today. Let that lead the preacher sermon or something.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the Seattle defense is a physical defense. The defense, we're talking about the offense earlier, but the defense. It's not the Legion of Boom. Dan Quinn created the Legion of Boom. Quinn, of course, is the Cowboys defensive coordinator now.
Right.
He knows Pete Carroll's offense. It's not the same offense it was when he was there and they were going to back-to-back Super Bowls and Russell Wilson was running it. But do you think he has the advantage over Pete Carroll, or Pete Carroll knows what's in Dan Quinn's mind and what this Cowboys defense, this takeaway defense might be doing?
Let me first correct you.
Okay.
They had a running back.
Oh, yeah, beast mode, Marshawn Lynch.
And Wilson found out real quick he's nothing without him.
Okay.
Okay? So they are trying to recapture that with this Walker kid.
Right.
But more to your question is the talent changes. So each coach does a little bit different. They know their basic philosophies.
Right.
And Pete's basic philosophy, if they can have a healthy Walker, they've been going back after back, trying to find this beast mode. They haven't found it because they can't stay healthy. So they know that if Pete Carroll, I don't think Pete Carroll to get out 10 points like the dummy Commanders just did and start passing the ball all over the place. I just believe that. You know? I believe they're going to hang in there. But that's a different story. We're talking about this game,
Yeah, so Nicole, do you think Dan Quinn has the advantage or Pete Carroll has the advantage since they both know each other very well?
I'm going to go Dan. Dan's obviously proved that he can, whether or not he has the advantage or not, he's going to outplay call anybody. And I think that the personnel that he has, as far as even Stephon Gilmore, DaRon Bland, those guys up front, Micah Parsons. Yeah, I mean.
People forgetting on Micah.
Good luck. I mean, these guys are playing at an all-time high. I think Dan Quinn definitely has the advantage right now.
So let's follow that same line of thinking, Alec. Does Dan Quinn need a takeaway? Not necessarily a pick six, but like when they lost to Philadelphia, they didn't get any takeaways. They had 3 chances for fumble recoveries, but it always bounced back to the Eagles. Does Dan Quinn's defense have to have a takeaway to win this game against the Seattle Seahawks?
I'd say yes. I think this is, despite all the injuries, the trials and tribulations for that offense, that's still a good offense. That's still a good play caller out there in Seattle. It's still a really talented group. And the thing is, I think Dan Quinn does have that advantage because, like Nate said, the talent disparity is there because they have depth in terms of talent on that defense. The Seattle offense kind of is what it is on paper, those first 11 guys on the field. Like, you can triple team Micah Parsons. That means Dorrance Armstrong is rushing free. You can do this, that, and the other. DeMarcus Lawrence, eliminate him from a play. Just cut him out. You still have Jonathan Hankins up the middle. There's guys through this defensive line that can get home if you're going to try to eliminate one specific person. So I think that offense, you need to get a takeaway because I think you can.
Well, we're going to go around the table real quick before we get out of here. What's going to be the final score, and do the Cowboys have the ability to score a 40-burger on the Seattle defense? Let's start with you, Alec, and then give me your final score when you give me your thesis.
I think they have the ability to. I don't think they will.
Okay.
I think that Seattle's going to come out here with a sense of urgency after getting a little bit embarrassed Thanksgiving week, perhaps. So I think there's going to be a heightened sense of alert there. I think my final score for this game, I'm going to go 28-21 Cowboys. I think they're going to keep it close.
Close one. Nicole, what do you think?
What about running back?
He just messing with you.
Your dad was running back for the Bears.
I'm going to go with Cowboys 31, Seahawks 10. And I say that because the Cowboys have been outscoring their opponents at home
by
162 points. And I don't think they're going to come in here and allow those guys to score more than 10 points in AT&T Stadium.
I got 2 scores. If they playing for pride and playing for their heart, and I'm talking about Seattle, it'll be like 14-10 Dallas. But if we get those two
-10.
takeaways. Man, we're going to beat the brakes off these dudes. That Seahawk they got,
Yeah.
we're going to trap him in a cage and keep him here with us.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I like that as well. In fact, on my side of it, I'm thinking, okay, I think this is also going to be a high-scoring game for the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are going to score at least 31 points.
Right.
And I think the defense is going to help them. I don't know if the defense is going to have a scoop and score, or if they're going to have a pick six. I don't know what's going to happen like that, but I do know they're going to force a fumble or they're going to force a takeaway. I can also see Kavontae Turpin scoring a big touchdown, or even Brandon Cooks scoring a touchdown. You know CD's going to get his touchdown.
Yeah.
Jake Ferguson, baby.
Jake Ferguson,
my man.
that's what the tight end.
That's my man.
I mean, I think they have the great opportunity to get it done. So I see the Cowboys winning their 14th consecutive home game. You like the odds, Nate?
Yeah, I like what, man. Better get out of here, man.
Yeah, it's time to go. Alec, Nicole,
Green,
Nate,
running
thank y'all
back.
very much. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
This has been Cowboys Crosstalk. Thank y'all for joining us. We'll talk to you again next week.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?